I am Fridge, and in today's video we're going to look at a scenario where the Nordic Union from my WICSO exists in the real world. So, the Nordic Union was a country in my WICSO before World War III. Afterwards they were disbanded because they lost. But here they are, now in the real world. And, well, them existing, they take up all of Scandinavia, along with Finland, half of Iceland, Greenland, and part of Canada, and also a little bit of Russia, which, speaking of which, them taking land from Russia is going to make Russia mad, and the US is either going to have a positive view on this because they don't like Russia, or they're going to have a negative view because it's going to be a lot harder for them to take over Greenland now. But at the same time, they're not allied with this, so people would probably be a lot less mad of them invading Greenland now than with Denmark, so who knows what their opinion on this happening will be. But that's not important for this video. Well, at least not for now. Who knows what I'll think to do later in this video. For now, though, the rest of Iceland is going to get invaded, and we're going to ignore NATO's existence. But, Iceland has no military, so, yeah. That was pretty quick. Iceland no longer exists, and is now part of the Nordic Union. And now, where do they go from here? Because, well, they border Russia, but they'd probably lose that. Well, I mean, they have a lot less nukes than Russia, and their nukes are a lot weaker than Russia's, so if it came down to nukes, they definitely lose. Technology-wise, they are in a way worse position than the rest of the world. Anyways, though, they're going to decide that the next place to go after will be none other than I just say Finland. They already have Finland. Estonia. Now, in my WICSO, they were actually allies with Estonia, who was pretty big. But now they're invading Estonia because, well, Estonia's not their ally anymore. So they will make a landing in Estonia and quickly just walk through it because Estonia is no match for them. And fully annex Estonia. Following which, they would just send their troops right into Latvia. And take over all of Latvia. And why stop there? Why not take Lithuania as well? So they go into Lithuania. And take Lithuania. With that, the Nordic Union will expand into all of this area here. With them now looking like this. Anyways, though, they are going to expand even more because they are an imperialist country. But before they do, they're going to look for some allies. And who will ally with them? Well, Russia won't because they took land from Russia. Germany won't because they took land from Germany. I mean, they could probably just make a deal to give Germany back this land and be allies with them, but they're not going to do that, at least not now. So, really, nobody wants to be their ally. Well, guess they're just going to have to expand by invading people then, if they can't find any allies. So they're going to look around and decide who to invade next. And they decide to invade Ireland. Now, this is because they're decently close, and they're not the strongest country in the world. And if they ever want to invade the UK in the future, well, they'll have a way closer area to invade them from. So they will take over Ireland. And they will fully annex it. And after that, they're going to look to expand even more. And they look over to Canada, and they already have some land in Canada. Why not take more land in Canada? Says the leader. So, they will start sending troops out from over here. Troops that were trained especially for the cold because, well, they're up here. Along with that, in Quebec, they'll also send some troops out. They will start pushing down around here. Let me call this part in. Along with this area over here. And can't forget about you. But speaking of you, Newfoundland, they're about to get invaded. As they make a landing in Newfoundland and take it over. And Newfoundland is now known as Newfoundland still. Anyways though, they'll continue to push, and they'll also make a landing over here in this area. And start a push around here, and they will get to the border of the US. And now the US is not like them even more than before. Anyways though, eventually they will take all of this part of Canada, I don't remember what it's called. Before continuing their invasion over here, where they are going to push troops out over here and push them towards the capital, which is somewhere around this area here. So let's just say that that happens, and after... Okay, now they have to have the capital. So after they capture the capital, well, that's basically it for Canada. But let's just to make sure that we know that this country's going to get exactly what they want in the peace treaty. Let's just do that. Okay, now we can end this war. And anyways, in the peace treaty with Canada, what will the Nordic Union be taking? Well, they are going to be taking some land. Guess you didn't expect that. First of all, they're going to be taking a lot of this northern land. Now, why they not invade the northern land at all? That's not important. Well, first of all, because there's no reason to. Second of all, they took other land that's more valuable. So they're going to give that back to Canada in return for this. I cannot draw a line today. I mean, it doesn't have to be straight. You know, let's just move it further south. So they're going to take land like this, bringing it over here, before heading down this way, and connecting up with themselves over here. They'll be taking that land here, along with this land over here, and that's what Canada loses. So Canada still exists. They still have, like, all of the population because, well, it all lives on the US's border, and they only took this part that borders the US, so Canada still has their population, but they did lose this area up here, which has a lot of resources. I think, at least. For all I know, it could have no resources. Anyways, though, the Nordic Union is now looking like this, and they're going to do some more expanding. This time, they're going to make an alliance with a country who has decided to ally with them. That being Poland, who is going to ally with them for two reasons. One, to not get invaded by them, and two, to invade Germany with them. So the two will start to push into Germany over here, with Berlin pretty close over here. It's somewhere around here. It's taken by now. It's like pretty close to the border of Poland. And these countries are going to push down along here. And they will push, and they will push into Bavaria now. And eventually Germany will completely die. And in the peace treaty, they will split Germany with a line that looks something like this. With the Nordic Union taking all of this land from Germany and the rest of it going over to Poland, who with this ally right next to them as well, they don't have to worry about ever getting invaded by an empire again, unless, well, the Nordic Union decides to betray them. But you know, the Nordic Union is actually going to help them invade into Czechia. I'm just going to skip that war, but Czechia is now part of Poland. And that's because they want their ally in Poland to be big. They want influence, and when their influence is a bit bigger, then maybe they can stretch their influence more. I don't know what I just said. Anyways, though, next up will be the Netherlands. So in my WICSO, the Dutch is a country that they've had okay relations with. They've fought in wars together. They fought against each other before. But they will now invade the Netherlands. And yeah, that's just not going to go well for them. However, there is a country that they border that they are a lot more interested in. In fact, the reason why they took all this land from Germany was so they could border it. And that is you. Switzerland. Why are they so interested in Switzerland? Well, if we come over here, you'll see that there's this paint country where Switzerland is. And, well, I mean, not anymore, but a long time ago, this country here had a massive empire. And them and the Nordic Union had a bit of a rivalry that started when this yellow country lost a war against them, and they both had different ideas for the treaty. So they're a lot more interested in this country down here, as they want to keep an eye on this country. They don't want to see this country expand, which, well, Switzerland is neutral in everything in this universe, the real world. The Nordic Union does not know that, though. So they start putting troops on the border here, just to be safe. They also will put troops on their border with these two countries over here, Liechtenstein. Did I say Liechtenstein? I mean Luxembourg and Belgium. And they will push in and take all of it as they grow even bigger now. With them looking like this. And you know, they're going to go to their ally Poland, and they're going to help Poland get revenge on another country. That being none other than Austria. So the two, I'm going to make them, is that a bit too close? I'm just going to keep with the light green color, the lime color. So the two of them will invade into Austria. And they'll push along here. And Austria will no longer exist now. Goodbye, Austria. And treaty, pretty simple, just a line going down from here. And not like that. A line going down from here, they'll link up with the border between Italy and Slovenia. And goodbye border that no longer exists. This they also did to increase their border with Switzerland. They do not like the Swiss, and everyone's looking at them like, why don't you like the Swiss? They're neutral in everything. So now Poland is also looking pretty big. Poland is probably loving this. Anyways, though, where to head next with these two countries? Well, next up, they decide that they are going to work together to invade another country. No, not you, Poland. You're not getting invaded. As they decide that the next country to invade is Belarus. Now, this is going to make Russia mad, but, well, the Nordic Union is counting on that. Same thing with Poland, as they don't like Russia. So they will work together to invade this country. As they push in, and yeah, goodbye, Belarus. Anyways, though, following the death of Belarus, we can see the treaty here, in which Poland will get some land over here. The Nordic Union will take this land along here. Let's have it stretched down here. That will just look horrendous. Never mind. No, actually, Russia will get this small part of Belarus here will not get taken by any country. However, this big chunk here, they're going to hand over to Ukraine. Speaking of which, what do all three of these countries have in common? They hate Russia! So, well, Russia's going to get this small part here because, well, Belarus cannot exist with just that. So, well, anyways, what I'm getting at is that Ukraine is joining this alliance, and they might be planning to invade Russia. So yeah, this is kind of what the alliance is looking like at the moment. And you know what? Let's add Slovakia to this. They're going to join that way. Poland doesn't invade them because Poland is now forming an empire. This is also a Polish Empire video. Anyways, though, these aren't the only countries joining the alliance because the Nordic Union has a plan to get another country into the alliance and also gain more land, as they're going to add France to their alliance, and then together they will invade the UK, because France and the UK historically hated each other, even if modern day they have pretty good relations and are both in NATO. But that's not important right now. What's important is that they're invading UK. So we will see Nordic Union troops push into Northern Ireland. Meanwhile, they will also make a landing over here, as the French make a landing over here, and they start to push in. The Nordic Union will now make a landing over here, and if you've seen World War II, you would know that Wales over here, that's what this orange country is called, and the Nordic Union hate each other, and they had some and the Nordic Union had some problems with Wales during that war. Anyways, though, the two will work together, France and Nordic Union, to push up here, and we will see Scotland gain independence, but not just this version of Scotland. No. Let me find something quickly. We're getting a different version of Scotland over here. There you are. we see Scotland turn purple. Yep. Scotland is, this is also what if Scotland existed in, real life. Wait, let me fix this. In the real world video. In fact, that was the entire point of this. You thought this video was about the Nordic Union. No, this video is about Scotland. If you've seen, World War III, then you might know that Scotland is not in a very good position afterwards. In fact, they might not even exist afterwards. Is that spoilers for the treaty? Because it's probably coming out before the treaty comes out. Well, I think you could assume that they won't want to exist if you've seen the final episode, which just came out yesterday. So this video is a spoiler if you... Well, I'm getting this video out by the time I plan to have it out. This video is a spoiler if you haven't seen the previous episode yet. Anyways, though, this part here will be handed, well, Wales is going to be taken by, or what's left of Wales is going to be taken by, no, it's going to be taken by the Nordic Union. That way they can make sure Wales doesn't become an independent country because, well, they don't like Wales. They'll also take this part of Cornwall, or they take all Cornwall. As for the rest of this, France will get some land. Let's just give them, not that much land. Let's just give them the entire southern coast like that. You know what? No, let's just give them all of this. That's France now. So sorry to England, but you're French now. I know, it's terrible. But anyways, now we have this. Also, Scotland will be joining the Nordic Union's alliance, but, well, we have to keep them purple, so, yeah. Speaking of which, where do these countries head from here? Well, obviously, we need to just quickly, get some things out of the way. The Nordic Union, sorry Switzerland, but you just got nuked by the Nordic Union, as they drop, like, all their nukes on here. And there's just going to be a giant cloud of radiation afterwards that even leaks into the, Nordic Union. Also, Liechtenstein got nuked. Whether they do deserve that, I don't know. But yeah, there's radiation all over this place now. This is not them being part of the alliance. And you know what, just to make sure, to keep the confusion, let's just say that they are nuked so much that now there's just a lake here. And the radiation disappeared, magically, who knows how. Same thing that brought the Nordic Union in here, me, got rid of the radiation. Anyways, though, now it's time for what they have planned, and that is killing Russia. Now, do these countries stand a chance against Russia? Probably not. And you see, the second they decide to declare war on Russia, well, seeing that they're going to require all their troops to invade Russia, once all their troops are moved over here, some other countries are going to be doing something. First of all, Canada wants their old land back. Second of all, the US wants Greenland. Yep, that's right, the US and Russia are working together because the US wants Greenland. And you see, we also will see, we also see, who else is going to join this war? We also see, I'm trying to think of some really hilarious country join this war. We also see none other than the great country of San Marino join this war. Yep, that's right, that war is San Marino now. And also, this country down here joins the war. Why am I calling it this country? Because this country does not exist. If we look at this map, it does not exist. There's nothing there. So the Nordic Union does not know about that island existing. They join this war, and with this, the Nordic Union stands no chance, as they quickly die. So let's just... Oh, in fact, they just turned, they just disintegrated. In fact, they are so not ready for this war that they're just like, they see that they have stand no chance, so they're just like, see ya, and sink into the ocean. And then all their allies go, see ya, and sink into the ocean as well. And where do they go? The ocean. But that's not all, because they actually had a plan that then sinks the US, Canada, and Russia, and San Marino, and this country that does not actually exist into the ocean. But finally, one more thing happens, and that is, we see the purple Croatian country randomly show up. That's what this video has really been about. And following them showing up, they just start expanding like crazy. In fact, this area here is no match for them. The world is no match for them. Oh wait, this is borders. The world is no match for them as the world is no match for them as the entire world is taken by them. This was actually a what if Purple Croatia existed in real life video. Anyways, though, thank you for watching. Yeah, I know this video is garbage, but, this is the third video I've recorded today, or not, the second video I've recorded today, but I also edited a video today. So, yeah, anyways, goodbye.